Welcome to Dubbzi Bricks and the first episode of building a custom Lego city. And this is the layout, or what we're hoping to build in our Lego city. It's going to be 5 large base plates in width by 8 in length. That's how big it's eventually going to be. So it's going to be 40 of the large grey base plates in a total area. And it's going to be heavily sort of like based on Gotham City or Batman and the characters within there. So over here we're going to have Arkham Asylum, and this is going to be on an island. This shaded area here is all going to be water, so the water's going to come right along the front of the city, and then down there's going to be water coming through the centre of the city, and it's going to go around one big bit office tower there. Now I've got a couple of ideas for a tower there, but I'll share that further down the line once I've confirmed the design on there. There's going to be a road that's obviously coming out of the Arkham Asylum, and then the road will come all the way down the mock this way. It will also steer off to the left and to the right, going over the water, and then there'll be a loop here, and then it's going to come along this road here. This line here is going to be a train line, and it's going to be an elevated train, which is just going to do a big loop. It's going to go through the Wayne Tower, and there'll be a train station possibly over this side somewhere. Now we're going to have a fire brigade just here, and it's probably going to be based similar looks wise to something like you would expect with the Ghostbusters HQ, something like that. Where it's got buildings, we haven't decided what we're going to put here, so they're going to be double or triple story buildings. There's going to be one there, a couple here, one there. So you're going to have walkways all the way around, some sort of open areas where there might be like some plants, trees, to put a bit of colour into there. And then again, there'll be 2 large towers here. This whole back row of base plates, I'm not sure what I'm going to do here yet. I might sort of like put it so that the trains go into a tunnel, and then there'll be buildings above it. So it gives it a little bit of elevation. It gives a little bit more character to the city itself. Now this area over here is going to be like an office complex sort of thing with Wayne Tower in the centre of it. And this is actually going to be an elevated area. So it's going to be like on a massive platform. And there's going to be 2 office blocks either side of it. So here is another drawing of the city. So as you said, we've got Arkham Asylum, which is going to be over on the left-hand side here, which is on a raised island. And you have the bridge coming out, and then you've got the GCPD there. The fire brigade will be next door, and then the other buildings. So you've got the elevated train that's coming around here, and then the road will be running underneath the elevated train. So this section here will be very much like you see in a lot of the Batman sort of like films and TV programs and everything else like that. So if I just put a picture on the screen now to show you the sort of thing that I'm thinking of. So there we go. And this again will be very much like you see in the likes of Batman Begins, where you've got the bridges going over the water. Obviously it's not going to be anywhere near the scale of there, and there'll be a road going across one of the bridges as well. This area here is the raised platform that we were on about, and it's going to be like on stilts, but there are going to be other buildings underneath there. So it might be like the Iceberg Lounge underneath and other sort of like places, which it's going to be a little bit of a darker feel underneath there. But it's just to give the city several different sort of like levels and characters where you can put in those finer details that bring the city to life. But yeah, they're the plans that we've come up with so far. I'm sure it's going to change on numerous occasions, but it's nice just to have that visual on there. As I said, we're going to have like the jetties down here, so there'll be a boat. And if we are able to ever extend the city, it would be nice to have like a dock somewhere along here, because obviously there's lots of underworld dealings that might happen there. So there's a lot of other stories that we can build in. The other reason that I've put the Wayne Tower here is that due to this all being elevated, we could potentially put another bat cave in eventually below it. So I could remove a section of the table underneath and lower it so it's below the actual table level. And even if we don't do that, we could possibly do something like the terminus you see in the latest Batman film. So it's going to give us plenty of options should we decide that we want to go down that route further down the line. We have in the last couple of days been building some sets just to get some practice on building buildings. As you will have known if you watched the Batman series, the only modular set that I've ever built was the Sanctum Sanctorum, and then the Wayne Manor was the first building that I'd ever designed. And the whole problem I had with the Wayne Manor, the Batcave, everything was so large in scale. And originally when we were going to build this city, Wayne Manor would have been in this section here. But if you imagine, the Wayne Manor would have probably come to about here on the city and would have been covering sort of like this much of it. It just wouldn't have looked right. You'd have one manor house there, which would probably have been bigger than some of these buildings here, which is the reasons why we scrapped adding that particular Batcave to this city. So by building like this, the Daily Bugle, which is one of the sets we built we built that yesterday. It gave us an idea of how to build on a smaller scale. So it looks like a big building, but when you go inside, it's nowhere near as big. It's only got like a couple of offices on each floor. But it was good practice, and we're looking forward to sort of like now ripping that apart and then using the parts to build the city up. So what we're going to do, we'll probably start on the front section here and build the Arkham Asylum, the GCPD and things like that, the bridge across. So the first couple of weeks, we'll probably start off by just doing the structural side of the layout of it, and then we'll start designing the buildings and work our way back through there. By the time we get back to sort of like Wayne Tower and things like that, we will have decided whether or not Batcave is going to be the way that we want to go with that, or whether we want to put a terminus in there. But I thought I'd just share you the plans. The reason there's been no building this week is we haven't yet destroyed the Batcave, and I also wanted to make sure I knew exactly what I was going to be building beforehand. I didn't want to just like start putting stuff together only to sort of like 2 weeks down the line, I think actually that's not what I want. And I've been sort of like drawing this up over the last 3 or 4 days, trying to work out what to do, along with making a couple of the sets, like I mentioned, the Arkham Asylum. And again, the Arkham Asylum is one build I'm really looking forward to making, and I want to get as much detail inside that as well, so we can have all of the villains in there, like Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze, Two-Face. It'd be good to get as much detail into this as possible. And again, I want to work on the colours as well. I don't want everything to just be grey. And obviously the Arkham Asylum we've just made has got the reddish brown in there, so I quite like the reddish brown with the dark blue grey and the light blue grey in there. So anyway, I hope you're excited for the plans here, and I hope you can visualise what we've got there with the pictures that I've drawn. Not the greatest of drawers, I'm afraid. We don't actually own a train set yet, so we're going to have to buy one to go on here. I just need to look into which one's basically the cheapest for the basic detail of the basic parts you need to create the train, because none of the sets are going to be like what we're wanting style-wise on here. So it's a case of just getting the track, the engines and the power supply and all that sort of thing. So yeah, looking forward to experimenting with that as well. And I will be building this so I can actually dismantle it and move it around sort of thing. So it's not going to be like the Batcave where it was one structure which you couldn't move. It's going to be one that I can take apart, move it. So if for any reason I change rooms or we need a bigger area to put the city in, then it's going to be easy to transfer it and move it, and it's not going to have to be destroyed. So with the city updates, we're going to initially be bringing them out just once a week, and that's going to be on a Wednesday. And I very well may bring it to a Wednesday evening around about 6 o'clock. So make sure you hit that notification bell and subscribe button so you know exactly when the updates are going to be dropping. If we start getting so much done that I feel like it warrants 2 episodes, a bit like the Batcave, then we will move over to 2 episodes a week. So I'm just going to see how the plans go. With this project, I want to make sure that I put as much detail into it as possible, but I also want to make sure that the content is worthy of 2 videos a week. So we're just going to play it by ear to start with. But we'll say, yeah, Wednesday is going to be the day that the city updates are going to be there. So as I said, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get up to date with the content on the channel. Please share this with as many people as possible, any family, friends, whoever you think might be interested in the Lego City. And we'll see you next time. Anyway, thanks for walking on by. See you soon. Bye for now.